So Rhaldor is not a unit that many people think about when they are thinking about War of the Visions. He's been a unit that never really had a chance to shine, much at all in this game. Even on his first release, when there was not a ton of, excellent water units going around, he's always been sort of limited by his range and also like some AP issues that he has. And that's something that pugilists, as a job in general faces. So let's see what Gumi did to sort of bump him up and bring him into consideration. Isbra says Minwoo is excellent. Everything she brings versus Phoebe is very noticeable. I can definitely second the Minwoo recommendation. Specifically, like for a fire team, though, I think she can still be okay, outside of a fire party. She definitely excels the most there, because you have even more options that she can do. But decently tanky units, great support skills, instant cast healing. She brings a lot to the table. I know Rhaldor definitely has some fans out there. Sasaki, looks like you're a big fan of this guy. I think you'll be happy about his hit point bump. Right, looking at what he is today on global, just under 3,100, goes up to a massive 4,500 HP. That's among the top bruisers in the game, like even better than some of the top bruisers, like Noctis and like Astoria, who's going to be coming, another sort of very high hit point bruiser. It looks like maybe he got a defense upgrade as well. Okay, he goes from 12 to 16 base defense. His agility does not get increased though. Yeah, so he actually got about 1,400 HP, which is one of the higher, not counting tanks, that's about as high as that you can expect to get in an EX upgrade. So that's very, very nice. 16 defense, so we got +4 there. He did not get any additional agility, so that's kind of an oof. 60 agility is kind of rough in today's meta, when we have a lot of very, very fast units. And we have a lot of units particularly that can buff their agility even, like Jaden and Elena, for example. But let's hold that thought. Let's see what else he gets. 243 luck, so it's not incredible, but it's solid. Something to build on. And obviously, Rhaldor, when we think about him, this is a guy that is like a physical bruiser. That's always been sort of his claim to fame. His resistances are very nice, especially for missile and pierce. And obviously he has that stop and disable resistance, which is great. Isvar says, sorry, not meaning to derail the conversation, but is this the first CM I've used her? And it's convinced me that I want to use a Rainbow Quicken Teams too. Yeah. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more Rainbow kind of going into the future. Going mono is a very big risk for a mode like Class Match where you're relying on streaks to build up your score. And hitting the wrong element can just shut you down. I think that's why so many people use light right now, because dark isn't really a huge threat at the moment, and they don't have to worry about their damage being neutered by a strong element. But Rhaldor gets an EX upgrade to his Pugilist passive for the HP and attack. He now gets an additional 15 pierce and missile resistance. Very, very nice passive. So if you look at his base pierce resistance of 15 and his base missile resistance of 20, you're now looking at 30 pierce and 35 missile resistance right out of the box. That's pretty incredible. So definitely this is like a specialist unit, right? When I look at those kind of resistances, I look at the defense. This is somebody that you're going to maybe want to employ in a very heavy missile and pierce meta. You know, which particularly for class match, we almost always are seeing a lot of missile damage, so maybe opens up some doors for him there. He does have the Thief passive, Thief lore. That's always been an asset for him. Obviously, it gives him that 12% agility, which he needs, and the +1 movement. So, I mean, that's always been an always-on for him. Let's take a look at the skill upgrades that he gets. So, what is this skill called today? I forget. Demon Purger. That's right. His Demon Purger skill gets a very, very cool upgrade. So it retains the same modifier, but it is adding a defense break of 20. So not like a top tier defense break, but definitely nice to have. That helps him because he doesn't have like top tier defense penetration. He just has like 20 base, and he can get 20 from a buff. He should be able to wear the black garb because he's a cloth wearer, so I assume that he can wear that. So that's probably going to be an item that you want on him because his defense penetration is not competitive with today's top end damage dealers. On the other hand, though, as we've seen with so many units, strike resistance is like a neutral or a weakness for at this point a majority of the units in the game. Very, very few units are positive on strike. So that's a very big asset, always for strike units. We've seen, Tifa, of course, do very nice damage. 2B does nice damage in her Pugilist sub. But when you think about this skill with a 210 mod, adding a break before the damage, and potentially so if you think about this skill, this is one range, right? This is not something that's very easy to use. Isvar says he cannot wear black garb. Okay. That's an oof then. I mean, I guess you could wear like Shinra Bangle maybe. But maybe they'll get some more weapon variety for fists in the future. But anyway, when you think about this skill, this is a skill that you're going to be using after you've advanced on the enemy, right? Maybe you've taken a few turns by that point before you're able to really use this. And maybe you've taken a few missile shots on your way in. At that point, your modifier may have increased up to 285% potentially. Massive modifier. So that's very, very cool. Oh, and that's not all though. This becomes a 100% hit chance, right? So difficult skill to use with the one range. It does have a surprising range height too, which maybe not a lot of people realize. So that definitely helps it out, but definitely close quarters combat. But cool upgrade, 100% hit chance. Obviously that's very needed, especially once we get this unit post 2nd anniversary with some of the evade totals that units are going to be able to achieve with the rune system and sub VCs. It's going to be much, much harder for us to build up accuracy with Alex rings and VCs and compete with the evade totals that you know, high-end evaders can achieve. So 100% hit is going to become, I think, more important, you know, as we you know, get into second anniversary and beyond. So that's a nice thing to have. His final upgrade is his Job 25 skill, and pretty nice range on it, which is something that he actually lacks in his skills. You can see these other skills top out at range 3 on his shifting strike. This one's a range 4, so that's definitely welcome for him. He needs that. It's an okay mod, but it does break the barrier, which is nice for him, making it much harder to mitigate his damage. It also increases his defense by 45, so kind of like a, you know, a mini sentinel effect, leading into that sort of bruiser, you know, aspect that he has. So I'd say Rhaldor over at the end of the day is a winner for EX upgrade. I like what they've done. The timing is a little bit unfortunate, you know, because at least in the JP side, they're in a little bit of a water meta at the moment. You know, it remains to be seen if we're going to be in that same state when it comes to the global side, you know, in 4 months from now. You know, our meta obviously is a little bit different. We have units and vision cards that they don't have access to. So if I was rating this EX, I'd say they maybe like a 7 out of 10, right? Maybe an 8 out of 10. I think they did a pretty decent job with him, kind of filling in some weaknesses that he had in terms of his range. That helps him out for sure. You know, upping his damage potential, obviously, and his survivability, you know, of course, when we're talking physical damage, is, you know, up there among the top bruisers in the game, so pretty cool. What do you guys think? Do you like Rhaldor? Do you